release the hostages, let Yahweh's people go. Okay, for the bill measures, the data is definitely needed, but we also need to make sure that it's accurate. Sometimes there are delays in getting data out because after data has been released into the public, they find out it's not as sure as they thought it was. So sometimes the delays that we experience with data collection and it being released to the public is because by the time they release something that I guess the measure was in 21 or whatever it was, by the time they release that, we have new situations cropping up now. So if they're going to release some data, they need to find a way to get people together to make sure the data is accurate. Because like in the medical field, you have data that says high blood pressure runs in the Black community. And then 5 or 10 years later, they say that data was completely incorrect. So in the racial equity sector, some of the things that they are listing may not be accurate at this time, even though it's a short period of time. So we need to make sure that our data is accurate. So it might be a blessing in disguise that the data and things are withheld and not released yet. Because they need to make sure it's accurate. If they have to go back and find a different way to do it, and it took some time, we would be grateful that they have accurate data, that we don't have to keep doing this over and over again. I mean, there are gonna be some issues to crop up, but if we can actually cure some of the societal ills as far as racial equity and the different bills that are there, if we can find solutions in data that helps us out, then we want the data forthcoming. But there might be a reason that they're delaying the data, especially understanding how the data comes out, and then many times it's inaccurate. So the civil rights and human rights, we need to make sure that everyone has the right to freedom of religion. That's Judeo-Christianity and Judaism. We need to make sure freedom of speech abounds, and this goes through the races. All races, all ethnicities, everyone needs to be able to have the freedom of religion, freedom of speech. They need to be able to have housing, the right to self-defense. The right to self-defense is the right to bear arms. We need to make sure that they are dealt properly according to their race, not in a racist DEI type of manner, but that they are dealt with the sensitivities of their race. People should have food and clothing, and safety is a civil right. If we are talking about civil rights, people should be safe in their homes. They should be safe in society. We need racial justice, and the Bible is the basis for Constitution. There must be racial equities for the Jews, or no one else will have it. Yahweh Elohim is the God of heaven and earth. I have dark skin, and I want racial equity and all kind of beautiful things for me. But if the people of the Bible, the Jews, don't have it, everyone else is gonna find they won't get it. If we focus on doing the right things by the Jews, who the whole world seems to be focusing on, if we focus on them and get them right, God says if we bless Israel, he will bless who blesses Israel. If you, while we don't have the data, the things that we can do, help Israel out. Get their situation together. It will correct the problems in the races. Yes.
Thank you so much. Is anyone else in the chambers or on Zoom